Yo, yo, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has been in office, 2 months, something like that, close. And let's see if we can get, I remember when I was in school, report cards came out about every 6 weeks, didn't they? So let's check and see what President Trump, what kind of grades that President Trump has made in the first 6 weeks. Now, we're talking about economics, ladies and gentlemen. And let me point out, before we get started, that all that crap about cutting Social Security, cutting welfare checks, cutting stamps and all that stuff, have you heard President Trump say that one time? Have you seen him? There's a camera in his face 24/7, almost every time. Anytime he's talking, there's a cameras in his face.
I want to take the money back from China. I want to save Social Security. People have been paying in for a big portion of their lives into Social Security. I want to save Social Security. I don't want to cut Social Security.
And the fact that you haven't seen it means that he never said it. And if he never said it, then where are you getting it from? You're getting it from the same people that's been lying to you for the last 60 years. Lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. What are they talking about? They're talking about
what they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They talking about.
They're talking about nothing. Lie after lie after lie. And they still lying.
You're all liars, liars, and I don't know.
They about to run out of room, ladies and gentlemen. Democrats, I might as well say liberals, because that group of people right there is getting a little thin, a little short. And a lot of people left the Democratic Party. Matter of fact, we got some shirts coming out. I believe this is going to be the biggest shirt ever, besides the Trump shirt. Matter of fact, let me put President Trump on a shirt that said, President Trump left the Democratic Party too. So yeah, I think, we got that in production right there. Check the UncleCoon website. Yeah, we rolling. Shit, we rolling. Yeah, President Trump, UncleCoon, I left the Democratic Party. That's one of our t-shirts right there. You can get it on UncleCoon.com. But anyway, let's check it out and see what is the president, the first 6 weeks. Let's see what's going on. Check it out.
Well, I think that the economic news that we've been seeing is really wonderful. It's way above expectation of economists. If you go back to the jobs numbers last week, where we had a big positive surprise, 10,000 manufacturing jobs, 9,000 auto jobs, and then you see the inflation number today, the lowest core inflation in 4 years, you could see that President Trump's policies are working, and they're working already. And one of the things that you can see is that it's affecting mortgage markets. This is something that you guys just talked about. Because the reason the mortgage markets are responding that way is that people know that we're not going to be printing money and spending like drunken sailors up on the hill, where you've got like a really great Doge practice going in to reduce government spending, and we've got a budget deal that we're actually negotiating later today. All that stuff is moving everything in the positive direction, and it'll show up in the real data, but also in consumer sentiment. And you know, absolutely, the numbers are way above expectation. And I can tell you too, Martha, as you know, it was covered in the Wall Street Journal. I've had about a dozen meetings with CEO because they're all in town for the business roundtable meeting, and everybody is saying that the economy is looking very, very solid right now.
Well, we hope that is true. Everybody wants the economy to be strong. A couple of specific questions for you when you look at this. You know, when you talk about consumer confidence, what signs do you see that it's improving? And that number's coming out. Do you have a number expectation that you are?
Gas, eggs, bacon.
Looking for there, and what is it?
The thing that I care most about is the hard data. The consumer confidence numbers can sometimes fluctuate around elections, for example, because of people whose party lost or are really in a bad mood, and they say, oh, things are just terrible. You know, the guy I didn't vote for is going to destroy the economy. But then when it doesn't happen, people get around. And so I don't actually put a lot of faith in the consumer confidence numbers right around election times. And there's some.
Basically, he's talking about that BS that y'all get from the news. How's MSNBC and anybody seen Jordan Reed? I thought probably Uncle Roland Martin probably would have had her come over there. But I mean, they both black.
Well, but we're a few months, we're pretty far past the November election. And I think you're going to probably get some indication of how people are feeling. We've been looking at the markets. They're all in the green right now. You've got 62% of Americans who are invested in the market, so they do care.
What I tell you, I'm trying to tell you. Shout out to Tater Tax. I'm trying to tell you. Y'all know how we do it, Tater Tax. Help you get your refund. Max out your refund. Ladies and gentlemen, we got, we kind of full. You better holler. You better try to get in when you fit in. But you can go to the website, tatertaxservice.com, and send us your information, and we'll get you done. We'll have a conference with you. We'll talk to you, see what's going on, see what you got going on, and then see what we can do to help you. Tater Tax Service. That's how we do that. But anyway, the economy is doing great. And I tell my clients, hey, listen, you're getting this money back. You need to invest. Drop some money in a mutual fund. We can help you with that. Licensed to do that as well. Being licensed to do that. So, and I'm telling everybody to, put some money in the market. Put it in there and let it rip. You can become wealthy. I'm telling you, save and invest, 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 invest your money. We can help you with that. Y'all see the number, holler at us. But anyway, President Trump, first 6 months, first 6 weeks, report card time, and he is doing very well. Sounds like we're doing A's now. I've done other videos, and I know the tariffs are working. And a lot of people don't understand that Canada and a lot of these other, Canada had 200% tariffs in some cases on us already. And then, the French and England, they got the wine and all this stuff they importing over here. And they don't let us sell anything over there to them. They got big time tariffs on us. And so, no, President Trump said, no, it's not going down like that. We, the people, we the badasses, and everything is going to come through us. Now, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's wrap this one up.
About what's happening with that. So if you don't want to give me an expectation for a number there.
Oh, yeah, I'm still, again, I'll give you an expectation that GDP growth is going to be 2.5% in the first quarter at least. But in terms of what the consumer confidence numbers say, again, so for example, the Michigan survey was really, really not that good, but there are a lot of Michigan people doing the survey that I don't necessarily think were doing anything other than making a partisan survey.
Let me ask you about this, because the question is, we heard Howard Lutnick moments ago talking about if you make it here, there is no inflation on that number because there's no tariff on those numbers. Can you give me an estimate, or will the White House be putting forward a plan for building here in America? Is there sort of like an 18-month, I think about the ramp up after World War II or before World War II when we were, industrially very weak on the war front. Can you project that there's going to be a project like that will not make it take forever for these manufacturing plants to get up and running here in the United States?
Right. Well, indeed, it's already happening, right? We saw the 9,000 auto jobs made in February because what's happening is the auto manufacturers are deciding we're going to have to ramp up production in the U.S., and they have ways to do it before they build a factory because they could have people work overtime and so on. Especially, President Trump doesn't want to tax the overtime. And so there's a lot of production that's happening onshore. And so I think we're very, very bullish on, job creation in the U.S. because of this. And you're already seeing it in the numbers.
Jobs, 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 and more jobs, ladies and gentlemen, are on the way. President Trump, 6 weeks, report card, doing very well. Thank you very much. Hey, I appreciate y'all dropping in. I'm your host, Big Al, UncleCoon. Like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Can't
touch this.
Real deal. This big gal on the mic, UncleCoon in the house, dropping knowledge, spitting truth, no room for doubt. From debates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't want to miss the call. Real deal.